Hey there, because there's so many people that are on statin medications, cholesterol-lowering medications, and people don't actually really know the side effects and the dangerous components of these drugs. I'm going to do a video and just go through the research so you understand if taking a statin medication or a cholesterol-lowering medication would actually be beneficial to you. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to walk you through the research so you actually understand what the research shows about the benefits to you towards taking a statin medication. The first thing I want to cover is when we talk about these statin medications or cholesterol-lowering medications, where exactly is cholesterol found in your body? That's really, really critical. So when God designed us, He designed us with over 100 trillion cells in our body, and every single cell has cholesterol in it. So let me kind of show you the cell membranes and how God designed it. So right over here, what you're looking at is there's a cell, right? That's a cell. You have 100 trillion cells, and then you have all these things in here, which all are also mitochondria. Now, what you're going to be seeing right here is this is the, if we would just take a little snippet of the cell membrane and blow this up, this is what you're seeing. So this is how our cell membranes are created. So up in here, you can see this is phospholipid. Now, what phospholipid is that's just a fat. Then this is the cell membrane. So it's a two layer. It's called a bilayer. And then between these little fat molecules, we have this right in here. You can see right in here, this is cholesterol. So all these little things in here are all cholesterol. So at the end of the day, 25 to 30% of our cell membranes is or are made up of cholesterol. So cholesterol is very, very essential for us to have in our body for every single organ in our entire body. So one of the things is when we talk about like breast milk, mom's breast milk, is that is all cholesterol. Fat is essential for the function of every single cell in our entire body. Now, one of the things when we talk about cholesterol, not only does it form the cell membranes of all our cells, but it also forms the cells of the mitochondria. So you can see this right here. So I'm going to just blow this up a little bit so you can see this. Now, you see this right here? This is the mitochondria. Now, within every single cell, we have between 500 and 3,500 mitochondria in every cell. Now, also to the outside lining of the mitochondria is also cholesterol. It has the same mechanism or the same cellular layer as your cells as out in here. So not only when we take a statin medication, when you take a statin medication, does it lower cholesterol from your blood, but it also lowers cholesterol in every single cell in your body that has cholesterol. That's 100% of your cells. So when you look at this mechanism of cholesterol, this is why there are so many devastating effects in your body. Not only does this medication lower cholesterol in your blood, it lowers cholesterol in your brain, your liver, your gut, your muscles, every single cell in your entire body. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen this ad here, but this is a Lipitor ad. So this ad was probably out 15 years ago, and it would brag about how Lipitor would reduce your risk from a heart attack by 36%. So if you see this ad, you're saying, wow, 36%. That is very, very good. Now, what they do here is they kind of blow this area up. I'm going to blow this area up so you can see what this says. Now, remember, this is from 15 years ago, so it's very, very blurry, but I'm going to show you what this says. This means, so this asterisk means, referring to this 36% right here, means that in a large clinical study, 3% of patients taking a sugar pill compared to, so 3% of patients taking a sugar pill or placebo had a heart attack compared to 2% taking Lipitor. So what the heck does that mean? That means that the effects of this, the benefit is 1%. That is it. So you have basically 3% of the people died from a heart attack taking a placebo, where only 2% died taking the actual medication itself. So this is only 1% effective now, but through the math and the special math, they say it's 36%. It's kind of like this. I'm recording this video in 2022. This is actually September right now. Now, we're in a huge inflation spike. Now, what the government would tell you is like, oh, it's 8% inflation. No one that I've ever talked to believes that it's only 8% inflation right now. Gas is expensive, food is expensive, energy is expensive. It's ridiculously expensive. Now, why do I bring this up? Because they manipulate these numbers so they can actually say it's 36%, but in reality, it's only 1%. Okay, so this is a really new study. This came out in March of 2022, so this is very, very new. Here's the references. So anything that I talk about here, I'm going to have the references. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see the references down below. If you're watching this on my website, there's going to be references. So none of this is my opinion. This comes from basically one of the most prestigious journals on the planet here, which is the Journal of American Medical Association. So it says when it comes to taking these statin medications is there's 0.8% benefit of you not dying of an all-cause mortality. So what is this really saying? This is saying that taking this medication, you have less than a 1% benefit towards you of taking it. That's it. And this is prescribed to millions and millions of people. It's also saying that if you take this medication, your risk of having an MI, mitochondrial infarction, is 1.3% lower. Okay, 1.3, not even 2% lower. And your reduced risk of stroke is 0.4. Now, when people go and they take this drug, right, they go to the doctor, they're going to assume that this down here, it's a 36% reduction in cardiovascular events. In reality, it's 1%. How can that be? It's all about manipulating the numbers so you buy their product. So not only is this the benefit to you to taking this drug is you get a 1% benefit, but here's a study that shows that according to this study, that 10% of the people taking this medication have side effects such as muscle pain, weakness, cramps when taking this statin medication. This comes from the government here, the FDA, and the FDA put a black box warning on statin medications that statins could cause cognitive dysfunction, memory loss, dementia. This is a side effect to this, a black box warning. If you know anything about black box warning, that is the most severe warning that any kind of drug can actually get. This is another shocking study that came out June 28th, 2021. And again, here's the study down here. None of this is my opinion. It says here, statins used to lower cholesterol double, ladies and gentlemen, double the risk for developing dementia. Why is that? Because you need cholesterol in your brain. So it's not about lowering the cholesterol. Like, we can do that naturally with functional medicine, get your cholesterol down, no problem. I do that all day long. But the side effects of these drugs are crazy. If you've ever seen anyone go through Alzheimer's disease, this is a very debilitating disease. It's a nasty disease. This doubles your risk for dementia taking these statin medications. So I'm going to read this here. This is a quote from this paper right down here. So it's quoting this paper right in here. But I want to read this because this is really, really significant, and people do not know this. Patients with mild cognitive impairment, so mild cognitive impairment is your memory starting to go, or normal cognition who use statins were found to have more than double the risk for developing dementia compared to statin non-users. So people that take statin medications are double the risk of people that are basically not taking any statin medications. Over time, what they've done here, this scan, this is a PET scan. They used PET scans to actually see how your brain is actually functioning. So over time, PET scan imaging of statin users also show substantial decline in metabolism in basically the cingulate cortex, in your brain up in here. So over a period of time, the metabolism of your brain starts to decrease. Now, if the metabolism of your brain starts to decrease, guess what's going to happen to your energy production in your brain? It's going to do what? Going to go down. And if your energy production starts to go down, you can develop mild cognitive impairment, dementia, a whole bunch of bad brain conditions. So this part of the brain called the cingulate cortex, the region of the brain known to decline most significantly in the earliest stages of Alzheimer's disease. So they have a PET scan. They've scanned these people that have taken this cholesterol medication, and they found that in this particular part of their brain, their metabolism decreases, and this particular part of the brain is very, very sensitive and will cause the earliest stages of dementia. Now, look at this. So what this is saying is that people that don't take these statin medications, they don't have this decline in cognition. Here, I want to show you, this is the part of the brain that the statin medications affect. And you can see here, I'm going to blow this up. What are the functions of this particular part of the brain? So it connects your sensory to emotions. It's your emotional response to pain. It regulates behavior, language, decision-making. So all these things can be affected when you take a statin medication. There's been research on how the statin medications here affect the mitochondria. This is the mitochondria. The mitochondria produce energy, and then your muscles don't start to function. They don't start to function well because they don't have enough mitochondria to produce energy. This is another research study down in here that it shows people taking statin medications are increased risk for osteoporosis. Here's another Here's another study, May 22nd, 2027. Statin yields no benefit for primary cardiovascular prevention in older adults. So what's primary prevention? Primary prevention is someone that you go in and let's say your cholesterol is 230 and they put you on a statin medication, meaning that you have not had a heart attack. So you haven't had any heart attacks. So primary prevention, which is the biggest market that these drug companies want you to get you on, is it's saying that we're going to prevent you a heart attack. There is no benefit if you are an older person to take these statin medications to reduce your risk of a heart attack. Okay, so I hope you found this value in this. I wanted to get this information out so you understand the actual true research on statin medications. If you're on my website, there's going to be some links down below where there's things that you can do to help yourself. There's also very specific labs that should be ran to actually figure out what kind of risk you are at for cardiovascular disease. And these are things that your medical doctor or the conventional system are not going to run. So take care. This is Dr. Hugh. Bye-bye.